Good morning, everyone. We are there with the subject SP. In the last lecture, we have completed with the chapter number 11, that is financial market. Today, we will going to start with the new chapter, chapter number 12, stock exchange. So, stock exchange, it is a specific place where various types of securities are purchased and sold. ठीक है, तो सारी सिक्योरिटीज परचेज और सोल्ड की जाती है ऐसी जगह पे, उसे कहते हैं स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. कौन सी सिक्योरिटीज? ओनली लिस्टेड सिक्योरिटीज कैन बी traded on stock exchange. Only listed securities can be traded on stock exchange. Means ऐसी securities which are included in the trading list of the stock exchange. Okay, I hope this is clear. Next is stock market acts as a intermediary between investors and borrowers. So who are the investors? The one who wants to invest, and the borrowers who are need of money. Okay, so stock market, what it does, it acts as an intermediary between the investors and the borrowers. Next is stock exchanges in India are regulated by whom? It is regulated by SEBI. So what is SEBI? Securities and Exchange Board of India. Okay, so जो भी rules or regulations होते हैं stock exchange के, it is as per the rules and regulations which is guided by the SEBI. That's why it is said stock exchanges in India, it is regulated by the SEBI. Now, stock exchange is also called as secondary market or stock market or share bazaar. Okay, so different name is there for stock exchange. Stock exchange को secondary market भी कहा जाता है, stock market भी कहा जाता है, share market भी कहा जाता है, share bazaar भी कहा जाता है. Okay, so different names are there for stock exchange. So I hope this is clear to everyone. What is stock exchange? It is a specific place where various types of securities they are purchased and sold. Okay, this stock exchange, it acts as an intermediary between investors and borrowers, and it is regulated by the SEBI. Okay, now that many stock exchanges in the world. Okay, so the important is to know which is the oldest stock exchange, okay, in the world, and which one is the oldest stock exchange in India. Okay, so London Stock Exchange, which was founded in 1571, it is the oldest stock exchange in the world. Okay, whereas Bombay Stock Exchange, which was founded in 1875, it is the oldest stock exchange in India. Okay, तो टू स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस वर्ल्ड की बात करें तो ओल्डेस्ट कौन सा है? लंदन स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. और इंडिया की बात करें तो ओल्डेस्ट कौन सा है इंडिया में? बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. Now the definition is there of stock exchange. So the first definition is given by the Securities Contract Act 1956. So as per this act, what is meant by stock exchange? So stock exchange is an association, organization, or body of individuals, whether incorporated or not. Okay, whether they are incorporated or not. तो ऐसी एसोसिएशन, ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या ऐसी बॉडी ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स जो इनकॉर्पोरेटेड है या नहीं है, established for the purpose of, and they are established for the purpose of assisting, regulating, and controlling of the business who are engaged in buying, selling, and dealing in securities. Okay, तो ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ऐसी एसोसिएशन जो इनकॉर्पोरेटेड है या नहीं है और वो एस्टैब्लिश हुई है फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ असिस्ट करना, for the purpose of regulating, for the purpose of controlling of business, which are engaged in the buying, selling, and dealing in securities. Okay, so this is a definition given as per the Securities Contract Act 1956. Now, second definition is given by Husband and Dockery. Okay, so what he says, stock exchanges are privately organized market which are used to facilitate trading in securities. Okay, so what he says, stock exchange is what? It is a are they are the privately organized market. क्या है वो? Privately organized market है जो यूज किया जाता है for the purpose of trading the securities. ठीक है, which is used for the purpose of trading in securities. तो ऐसे organized market which are used जहाँ पे securities को purchase या sold किया जाता है, which are used for doing the trading of securities. Such private organized market is known as stock exchanges. Okay, so this is a definition given by husband and doctorary. Okay, so these two definitions I hope is clear to everyone. Okay, so first act के हिसाब से और second is by the husband and doctorary. Is it clear to everyone? The next is the features of stock exchange. Okay, so these are the 6 features of stock exchange. The first feature is a market for securities. Okay, so stock exchange is a market, is a place where all types of corporate as well as government and semi-government securities they are traded. Okay, so whether it's an organization, whether it's a government organization, or whether it's a semi-government organization, in this market, in the stock exchange, all the securities they are being traded. Okay, so what the very first feature is, it is a market for securities. The next is second hand securities. Okay, so in the stock exchange, the securities which are traded are those securities which are already issued by the company. Okay, so ऐसी securities जो second hand securities है, वो securities को bought और sold किया जाता है amongst the investors in the stock exchange. Okay, तो कोई fresh issue नहीं होता है. Second hand securities जो होती है वही securities को what is does, it is bought and sold amongst the investors in this stock exchange. The next one is listed securities. So as I already explained you, listed securities is the only securities that are sold, that are traded on the stock exchange. Okay, and what is the reason of this listing of the securities? It helps, it protects the interest of the investors, because if the company lists its securities with the stock exchange, then what happens, the company has to follow all the rules and regulations which is laid down in the stock exchange. Okay, so it gives a protection to the interest of the investors. That's why the stock exchange always traded with the listed securities. They always do the trading of the listed securities. Okay, the next is organized and regulated market. Okay, so all the listed companies they comply with the guidelines of SEBI. जो भी guidelines SEBI ने दिया है उसके हिसाब से ही listed companies चलती हैं. Okay, and companies have to function as per the rules and regulations which are laid down by the stock exchange. Okay, so because of this too, organized or a proper regulated rules and regulation से भरा हुआ market मिलता है. So where everyone where the interest of the investors they are protected. Okay, that's why I said organized and regulated, because listed companies they follow the guidelines of SEBI, as well as they follow the rules and regulations which are laid down by the stock exchange. The next is a specific location. Now stock exchange is a specific physical place. Okay, it's a physical place जहाँ पे securities are traded. It is a marketplace जहाँ पे brokers or intermediaries they conduct dealings in securities. अगर हम अब की बात करें तो अभी सब कुछ डिजिटल हो गया है. ठीक है, टेक्नोलॉजी के वजह से. तो अभी ट्रेडिंग होता है, वॉट एवर ट्रेडिंग इज डन, इट इज इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली द स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. ओके, तो व्हाट वी से इट्स रीमैट एंड डीमैट. ठीक है, तो याद है आपको, रीमैट एंड डीमैट मीन्स फिजिकली एंड वेयर इज डीमैट इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली. सो इवन द शेयर्स दे आर परचेज एंड दे आर बॉट इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली. ओके, पहले क्या होता था, एवरीथिंग इज डन फिजिकली. Okay, so today all the trading is done electronically on a stock exchange. But a stock exchange is a specific physical place जहाँ पे securities are traded. The next is trading only through members. Okay, so whatever trading is done in the stock exchange of the securities, it is only traded by the members of the exchange. Okay, or only through the authorized brokers. Okay, those are the authorized brokers or by the members of the stock exchange. Only they can do the trading of the securities in a stock exchange. Okay, so these are the 6 features of stock exchange. First is market for securities. It is market for all the securities, whether it's a corporate organization or whether it's government organization or whether it's semi-government organization. Only second-hand securities are sold in the stock exchange. Listed securities are sold in the stock exchange, are traded in the stock exchange. Okay, organized and regulated market is there. As the listed companies, they has to comply with the guidelines of SEBI and has to follow the rules and regulations which are laid down by the stock exchange. A specific physical place is there where the securities, they are bought and they are sold, they are traded. Trading is done only through the members or through the authorized brokers in the stock exchange. So these are the 6 features of stock exchange. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now the next 3 points are management of stock exchange, organization structure of stock exchanges in India, and membership of stock exchange. Now who are the management of stock exchange? So executive committee of stock exchange or executive committee of stock exchange, they looks after the overall activities and management of stock exchange. कौन देखता है? Executive committee of stock exchange, they looks after the जो भी activities है या जो भी management है stock exchange का, right? Now what are the compositions, the powers and the name of the executing committee, it differs from exchange to exchange. ठीक है, जो भी powers दिए जाते हैं या जो भी compositions हैं या जो भी name है ये executive committee के, ये अलग अलग होते हैं as per the exchanges. There are other supporting committees also which assist this executing committee, जैसे advisory committee होती है, listing committee होती है, so etc. So there and other committees also जो क्या करता है, assist करता है executive committee को in order to manage the overall activities and stock exchange. Okay, so this is the information regarding management of stock exchange. So who is the managing the stock exchange? Executive committee. Okay, and who is the supporting committee? Like advisory committee, listing committees, these are the supporting committees with the help of which the management of the stock exchange is done. The next is organization structure of stock exchanges in India. So in India, the stock exchange may be organized in one of the 3 forms. पहला, voluntary non-profit making organization. दूसरा, companies with liability limited by shares. And तीसरा, companies with liability limited by guarantee. Okay, so ये जो Securities Contract Act 1956, it provides the rules how this stock exchange has to functions regarding the license, regarding the recognitions, and for controlling the speculations. Okay, so this Act Securities Control Act 1956, it looks after the functionings of the stock exchange, the licensings of the stock exchange, the recognitions, and it also look after the controlling of speculations. Okay, so this is the organization structure of stock exchange in India. It may be organized in 3 forms: voluntary non-profit making organizations, or in the form of companies with liability limited by shares, or in the form of companies with liability limited by guarantee. The next is membership of stock exchange. So एक criteria दिया है, एक eligibility criteria है membership के लिए. Okay, and it differ from stock exchange to stock exchange. ठीक है, हर एक stock exchange का अलग अलग eligibility criteria for this membership. Okay, so if you want any additional information, then you can go to the website of the respective stock exchange if you want to be a member of those of the stock exchange. Okay, so these are the 3 points is there just for your information purpose. That is management of stock exchange, which is done by executive committee, organization structure, where we have saw the three forms of where the stock exchange may be organized, and the third is membership. So every membership differs from stock exchange to stock exchange, and a proper eligible criteria is therefore. Okay, I hope these 3 points are clear to you. Now the next is the functions of stock exchange. So what are the functions of stock exchange? The very first is mobilization of savings. The very first is mobilization of savings. So the stock markets, as I said, it is an organized and it's a regulated market जो protect करता है interest of the investors. Okay, it because of that it encourages the small and big investors to invest in the securities through the stock exchange. Thus, it provides a ready-made market for the buying and selling of securities. Okay, so just savings होती है उसको mobilize करता है from the investors. Okay, in order to protect the interest of the investors. It gives the market in order to protect the interest of the investors and to get to earn a good interest. Okay, so mobilization of saving is done because of the help of stock exchange, क्योंकि वो ऐसा ready-made market asset देता है to the investors for buying and selling of the securities. The next is capital formation. Now, investors in securities, they're attracted because of the good returns on the investments and capital appreciation. Okay, so if I want to invest, so I will going to invest where I will going to get a good returns. Okay, so investors, they're always they are attracted if they are getting the good returns on the investments. So this attracts the investors to invest through the stock exchange. ठीक है, क्योंकि स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में एक तो सब रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस के हिसाब से होता है और वो प्रोटेक्ट करता है, सेफ है, राइट. सो कॉर्पोरेट्स too can easily raise funds, okay, by offering various types of securities to meet the needs of different types of investors. Okay, so stock exchange provides the platform to the investors to invest. Investors attracted towards the returns on the investment. Corporates, they can easily raise the funds because of the uh, stock exchange, because it provides the uh, ready-made market for the investors. Okay, so if there is a need of any capital to the corporate, they can easily raise the funds because of this stock exchange. So we can say stock exchange, it serves as a tool for capital formation. ठीक है, क्या है वो स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का एक टूल है जो कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन में हेल्प करता है कंपनी को, क्योंकि whenever the corporate is in need of money, whenever corporate wants to raise fund, okay, by offering the securities. Okay, so this stock exchange, it helps the corporates for raising the fund. Okay, and in order to increase in order to form the capital for the firm. Next one is pricing of securities. Now जो भी सिक्योरिटीज है उसके प्राइजेस वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं. ठीक है, नाउ द स्टॉक मार्केट हेल्प्स टू वैल्यू the securities on the basis of demand and supply factors. Okay, so securities of profitable and growth oriented companies, they are valued higher price and their demand is also more, whereas if the company is facing a loss or if the company is not earning the profit, तो उसके शेयर्स उसके सिक्योरिटीज के प्राइस क्या हो जाते हैं, लो हो जाते हैं, और उसका डिमांड भी क्या हो जाता है, कम हो जाते हैं, राइट. सो द वैल्यूएशन ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज इज वेरी यूजफुल, इज वेरी important for investors, government, and creditors. So in the investors can know the market value of their investments, and the creditors they can estimate the credit worthiness of the company. Because of that, the prices of the shares it valued at higher price, and the demand is also getting more. Okay, so जो pricing है securities का वो depend करता है demand और supply factors पे. If the company is earning more, then the prices of its shares will be higher and the demand will be more. If the company is not earning good, the company is not earning profits, okay, तो उसके जो shares हैं उसका demand भी कम हो जाएगा क्योंकि उसका price भी कम हो जाएगा. Okay, the next one is economic barometer. Now, a stock exchange is a reliable barometer to measure the economic condition of a country. ठीक है, कंट्री का इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन क्या है वो कैसे पता चलता है, विद दिस स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. ओके, तो अगर आपने अगर आपने कभी now every major change in country and economy is reflected in the prices of shares. Okay, so if the country is suffering from any loss, okay, or if a company is facing any problem, just recently the country is facing the problem of corona, okay, so this is a pandemic. Because of that, many countries they are facing this problem. Because of this problem, the उनके जो शेयर्स थे, उनकी कंपनी के जो शेयर्स थे वो क्या हो गए, वो नीचे गिर गए. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट उनका जो कंट्री का इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन था वो भी क्या हो गया, पुअर हो गया. ठीक है, सो ये जो राइज और फॉल इन शेयर प्राइसेस वो इंडिकेट करता है बूम पीरियड एंड रिसेशन साइकिल. ठीक है, कि whether the economy is going up or whether the economy is going down. Okay, so that's what it said, stock exchange, it is a reliable barometer to measure the economic condition of a country. Okay, so stock exchange is also known as pulse of economy or economic mirror, as it reflects the economic condition of a country. किसी भी country का economic condition जाना है तो find out the economic the stock exchange. Okay, because it shows the reliable barometer of the economic conditions of the country. Now the next one is protecting interest of investors. Okay, interest of investors. So as I said, yeah, in this market only the listed securities are traded, which means the company has to comply with the rules and regulations which is there by the stock exchange, and it ensures the investors to deal through stock exchange. क्योंकि उनको पता है अगर हम यहाँ से डीलिंग करेंगे, ट्रेडिंग करेंगे, हमें कोई लॉस नहीं होगा, because stock exchange protects the interest of the investors. Okay, so protecting the interest of investors. The next is liquidity. Now, what is in my liquidity? Liquidity means converting into cash. Okay, immediately conversion of investments into cash. Okay, so in the stock exchange, the assurance is given to the investors that their investments can be converted into cash whenever they want. So, if I had purchased a share for long term in per period or short term period or for a medium term period, and I am in a need of cash immediately, then what can I do? I can transfer my shares or I can sell my shares, and immediately the cash will be received. by me, okay, received to me. So that's why it is said कि liquidity provide करता है stock market because it gives the assurance to the investors कि उनके जो investment है वो easily convert हो जाएंगे cash में whenever they want. Okay, that's why the investors they invest for the long term investments projects without any hesitations क्योंकि उनको पता है कि अगर मैंने investment किया लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए शॉर्ट टर्म पीरियड के लिए या मीडियम टर्म के लिए still there will be no problem if there is a need of cash immediately. So that is the point liquidity. The next is better allocation of capital. Now, the shares of profit-making companies, they're quoted at higher prices and they're actively traded. So, such companies, they can easily raise fresh capital from the stock market. So, if the company is earning good profit, तो उसके shares भी उनके shares के prices भी high रहते हैं और वो अच्छे से trading होते हैं in the stock markets. जिस वजह से the fresh capital they can be raised in from the stock markets. Okay, the prices of securities traded in the exchange indicates the opportunities for investments. So stock exchange it facilitates the allocation of investors fund to the productive and profitable channels. Okay, so if my company is earning a good profit, so my shares prices will be high and they're actively traded, and if there is a need of any fresh capital, then it will be easy for my company to raise such fresh capital because my company is earning a good profit and my share is having a good price in the market. Okay, so what this stock exchange does, it facilitates the allocations of investors fund to the corporates who can use the fund in the most productive and profitable manner. Okay, so better allocation of capital is done because of stock exchange. Next is contributes to economic growth. Okay, so in stock exchange securities of various companies they are bought and sold. Investors invest करते हैं companies में. They also get the good return on investments. Hence companies they also try to invest in most productive investment projects so that they leads to capital formation as well as economic growth. Okay, तो एक company का economic growth कब होगा? When there will be a good capital formation and it will possible if the company will going to invest in the most productive investment project, and it is possible because of the stock exchange market. Okay, the next is providing scope for speculations. Now, so in order to ensure liquidity and demand or supply of securities, what the stock exchange does, it permits healthy speculation of securities. What it does, it permits healthy speculations of securities. Now what is the speculations? So if you have heard the word satta, okay, what is satta? Have you ever heard this word? Okay, so picture में बहुत बार सुना होगा, right? Now what exactly is this speculation? अगर हम सट्टे की बात करें तो it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, but it is a good if it is used in a healthy way. Okay, that's why it is clearly mentioned that stock exchange permits healthy speculation of securities where the uh, financial transactions they take place, okay, but in a healthy manner, in a healthy way. Okay, so speculation trading it refers to the act of conducting a financial transactions that has a substantial risk. ठीक है, हम अगर हम सट्टे की बात करें तो रिस्क होता है, ठीक है, कि हम either we will get more, either we will going to get earn more or either we will lose everything. ठीक है, तो एक तरह का सट्टा होता है, राइट? सो व्हाट द स्टॉक एक्सचेंज डज, it permits, but it permits for the speculation for healthy speculations of securities. ठीक है, गलत सट्टा नहीं, सही तरीके से सट्टा करना उसके लिए अलाउ करती है स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. ओके, so share market is a kind of speculation, okay, but it is a healthy speculation of securities. Okay, so I hope this point is clear. Providing scope for speculations. The next and the last one is it promotes the habit of savings and investments. Okay, so instead of investing on the अनप्रोडक्टिव एसेट्स जैसे कि गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट करना या सिल्वर में इन्वेस्ट करना, इससे बेहतर इट विल बी इफ द investor they will going to invest in the securities. Okay, so यहाँ पे if they will going to invest, then they will get a good return than the investing on the unproductive assets like gold and silver. Okay, so what this stock market does, it offers the attractive opportunities of investments in various securities. So these attractive opportunities, they encourage the people to save more and invest in the securities of corporate sectors, as the corporate sectors they provide a good return on the investments. Okay, so that's why it is said stock exchange promotes the habit of savings and investments. So these are the 10 features of so these are the 10 functions of stock exchange. I hope these 10 functions are clear to everyone. Any doubt is there? All the functions are clear to you? Okay, so in the next lecture, we will continue with the uh, major stock exchanges in the India. In India. Okay, so till then, everyone, goodbye, take care.